Dale Cunningham, Vom Aloysius Rottweilers.
We out here training. This is my dog Jocko.
Rottweiler Vlogs, episode 127. Mizzo Mack out here in Compton, CA. The California tours continue. That's right, we out here with Dale Cunningham and Sykes of South Bay Malinois and a few featured guests. Y'all kick back and enjoy the content.
So as a Rottweiler enthusiast since back in the day to now, I'm sure you've seen the difference in what is being produced now versus what was being produced back then. Talk to the viewers a little bit about your observations and what you think about that.
Well, now, back then they always had big heads and big snouts, right? So the snout was proportional to their head, because Rotties have the hardest bites of all the dogs. And people think a pit bull bites hard. No, a Rottweiler bites harder than anybody. I think like a Tibetan Mastiff or something has a harder bite, but for the most part, they have the hardest bite. So now people start breeding these dogs with these like gigantic heads and these little snouts. And it came from this dog named Timid Tor. Now you see this dog has this big old forehead, this big old wide head, and this little snout. And what that does to the dog, first of all, it messes up their breathing, because their snout is not as long, so they're starting to be almost like a pug nose. Also, their bite is going away, so they're not as strong of a bite. So they get these big dogs with these gigantic heads and these little snouts, and people like those dogs, but I like the traditional ones. So that's what I still breed, according to German standards of in the German breed of standards. Because in Germany, we just can't breed dogs. You have to get a license. You have to go to a temperament test and a characteristic test before you're able to breed dogs. Out here, it's not like that. It's America. We can just breed dogs. You can bring a crappy Rottie to a skinny Rottie that looks like a Dobie, and that's what people are doing just to make money. So that's the difference. So sometimes you go buy a dog. Well, I got the mother and father at home. You go look at the mother and father, and they both look like crap. And all people care about is making the money. So I always don't breed my dogs with just any old female or just any old male. I always have to look at the characteristics and their pedigree and see if I want to breed to them. So that's what it is nowadays. They have these different standards because these are working dogs. And with a smaller snout, they can't breathe as good, they can't hunt as good, they can't track as good, and they don't bite as hard. That's the difference today. Most of the time, now most of my puppies are sold by word of mouth, but before I used to advertise. Majority of the time it was families that would come. So I would always, ask them what they want them for. Not too many people like to, unless you're in the canine world, in the training world, then a lot of people like my dogs because they're workers. They're from working line, just like Sykes and just like Lewis. My dogs are known for working, but they're also known for being sociable, so a lot of families have my dog. So that's what I try to talk to the people, talk to them over time, and see who's coming to buy this dog. Because if they just gonna use them for a guard dog or something like that, or not take good care of them, because I've taken dogs back before and gave them to other people, just because they didn't take care of them right. So I always try to place them in a nice home where they're gonna take care of them, and not just leave them in the backyard or just don't take care of them, don't socialize them. You have to make sure the dogs are taken care of when they get 8, 9, 10 years old. It's just not, you don't want nobody buying a puppy for the first year and all of a sudden they get rid of them. So I try to explain to them what this dog is all about. It's a lot of work, but it takes a lot of care. But if you treat them like they're part of your family, they'll be your best friend and they'll protect your whole family. Because I used to have a male named Rock. I used to bring Rock outside when I cut my yard, and he would lay down, right? He could just stay up right there watching. He would just be laying down, just relaxing. The minute somebody come out the house and start walking towards me, he would stand up and raise up and just look. The minute they left and I go back to working on the yard, he would just lay back down. So that's what they do. And I used to have another friend, he had one. Every time he went to the gas station, the dog sat in the back seat. The minute he got out to pump the gas, he had a female. She would get in the front seat, he'd leave the door open, she would just sit in the front seat and watch him until he finished pumping the gas. Once he's safe and he's coming back to the car, she goes right back to the back seat. They get in the back seat. So that's what they do. They protect you with their life because their pack. And they care about your family. So that's come. A lot of times people need to raise. If you're gonna have little kids, you have to raise them up around your kids and make sure they're comfortable. And you got to watch them. But I never believe just leaving the dog with your kids by themselves because it's still a dog, right? So that's what I'm saying. You still got to be careful because it's still a dog.
Anything's liable to happen.
Yes.
You're right. So talk to me and let the viewers know which movies your dogs have been in and the process that you went through to make that happen.
Well, one day Lewis was training at his house. So this guy named Tom was in the movies training animals. So the freeway was crowded. So he got off the freeway, was driving down the street, and Lewis used to live on a busy street, and he saw Lewis over there training dogs. And he had a Mally. So he started talking to him, then so Lewis started coming out on the field, Tom started coming out into the field training. So that's when all of a sudden you started seeing Malinois in movies, like the first Spider-Mans and stuff like that, because Tom started introducing them. So you ever notice a lot of movies have Malinois in them? That's because Tom and Lewis and OJ and the guy named Lamont had these dogs that everybody wanted to put in movies. So they started coming up to the park, and when he needed a particular dog for a particular movie, they would come, tell OJ what dog they wanted. So my dogs were in some videos and commercials. And one time Nadine was in a commercial where she had to hold a remote control. And my dog Rock was in a couple of rock videos, which I never knew because I'm not into rock music. So one day OJ said, "Hey Dale, can I use your dog for about a month? I need to take her to Arizona for this movie." So I say, "Well, okay, what movie is that?" He said, "I don't know." So he took Nadine and he had a Mally and they went to Arizona, going about a month. So he came back and I said, "Well, what movie did you shoot?" He said, "I forgot, I don't know." So he told me what scene it was, and I had forgotten about it. So, when the first Transformer movie came out, I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna go see this movie, right?" So me and my girlfriend go to see this movie, and it's about 20 minutes in, they have this scene of the junkyard, because the star, Shia LaBeouf, goes to the junkyard because he's found the Transformer. So he's creeping around, and all of a sudden you hear these dogs growl, and it's a Mally and a Roddy. I'm like, "That look like my dog Nadine." I'm talking in the theater, and people look at me, I say, "That is Nadine." So my girlfriend knew it was Nadine. So it was a scene where they chased the star, and they chase him up onto this car, and they bargain, try to get him, then the Transformer comes and save him. But I always say the backstory to that movie is dogs are inherently smart. So this was the first part of the movie they shot was with the dogs. So every time they would release the dogs, they would really release the dogs after this movie started. They would let them run, but they had them on these long chains, and they would catch them. But the dogs kept getting frustrated because they kept chasing them, and they could never bite them. So and like I said, they're inherently smart. So they started taking off faster and faster and faster. So this one time, the director said, "Action," and the dogs took off, and OJ and the other trainer was not ready. So they were just about to get that movie star, and lucky they had a stunt coordinator, and they had these long chains. He dove, and lucky got both chains because they were like 10 feet from him. They were going to tear him up, those two dogs, because they had been frustrated all day. And people don't realize that they had got to him, that movie would have been shut down for months because they were going to jack him up.
Yeah.
So
that's a nice story.
Yeah. So that's what happened. So people don't know that backstory, but they almost ate that movie star up.
Nice.
I'm going to do another breeding to another dog I had in my line in about 5 or 6 months. But I'm under Vom _Loso on Instagram and Dale Cunningham, just straight Dale Cunningham on Facebook. I do 1 or maybe 2 breedings a year because I don't overbreed my dogs because I only have 2 males. So right now I'm transitioning from Diesel to Jackson. So I have like 2, 3 females I breed to. It's just that I don't live on a big ranch. I just live in a regular house. I just kind of keep 2, maybe 3 dogs in my house at a time. But I have dogs, females that I sell to other people that I try to keep my line going.
Hi, my name is Louis Wim. I'm the head trainer of Black Mass K9 Training. And this is the training field. And this is what we do all day long.
Where we at right now?
We're in Compton at South Bay K9 Training Field.
How long you been training, Mr. Lewis?
30 years. I have Malinois, I have Rottweiler, I have Dobies, I have German Shepherds.
I appreciate you taking the time to give us an introduction. And how can people get in contact with you if they want to get some training?
They can reach me at 310-363-2077.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis.
Thank you.
And how long has E-Top been coming here?
Actually, he grew up here, and I've been bringing him back about 6 months. 6 months,
nice. Nice. And what stage is he at in his training?
Well, I'm in my beginning stages.
Okay.
So he's getting through obedience and foundational protection work.
Okay, nice.
But it's probably because I'm a new learner, and so we're both trying to figure this out together.
Nice. He's a beautiful dog.
Thank you.
Beautiful dog.
What's up, boy?
How old is he?
A little over a year, 14 months.
Nice.
I'm Shireen Ibrahimi. We are South Bay Malinois. This is South Bay Malinois Field, and this is Redemption Road K9. We got our decoys here, coming here every week. We're out here training with everybody. Rottweilers, Malinois, youth, Kangles, everything you could imagine. We're out here training. We appreciate the opportunity to be out here. Thank you.
Nice.
Thanks.
Nice meeting you guys.
Cha-cha. That's my boy. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Mongo out! The bus. Here. My boy. Flats. Boost. That's my boy.
What's his name?
Face. Two-Face.
This is Face.
Yeah, Face. South Bay. Two-Face.
This is Two-Face of South Bay Malinois.
That's my boy. Flats. Boost. Back. What? Is it? Good. Flats. Glide. This Mongo's brother, my other dog.
How old is he?
Year. Yeah, he's a year and 2-3 months. Bus. Ah, boy. Good boy. That's my boy, Casey. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Face. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. That's my boy.
Here with my man Sykes and his beautiful Rottweiler. We're out here at his facility in Compton, California. Thank you for inviting me out. It's a pleasure to be here. Go and tell us a little about your boy and your facility and what we out here doing today.
We're out here training. This is my dog Jocko. bred by the other guy you just got through interviewing, Dale. Pup is like 14 months old. Nice drive, nice bite, good attitude dog. I think I might go into like a PSA, protection sport, with him. I've been breeding, training, and working with Malinois for about 16 years.
Nice.
First, I fell in love with the breed through LA Master Canine, Mack, Malcolm, and Lewis Williams. That's where I learned how to train dogs from.
And how long you been training dogs for now?
About 16 years now.
Wow, so you're definitely a veteran in the game.
Yes.
Definitely a veteran in the game. Now you said that you're known for the all-black Malinois.
Yes, mostly everyone knows me by the black Malinois.
How long has this facility been here?
This facility used to belong to LA Master Canine, Malcolm last. Malcolm just passed from cancer. You know, dude's like, you know, meant a lot to all of us. Dude, he was like the grandfather of this shit right here. This dog stuff. Been doing protection dogs probably about 60-something years. Dude's like the king of scenarios, street scenarios, king of bite. If Malcolm couldn't get it to bite, it wasn't gonna bite. But yeah, we really miss him. You know, he died probably about almost a year and a half ago. Now, so.
Well, I understand that. God rest the dead. So everybody here, you, Mr. Lewis, y'all kind of keeping the legacy going.
Yes.
That's nice. That's a beautiful thing. How can people get in contact with you if they want to pursue doing bite work in the Southern California area?
We do protection on my club here, South Bay Malinois. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. What's up, man? This is Mongo. Mongo of South Bay Malinois. And these are my agility course. Dude running like a champ. Check it out.
Yeah, let's see him work.
Mongo, let's go. I'm my boy. My boy. That's my boy. ¿Qué pasa? Out. That's my boy. My boy back.
That's excellent.
Right here. Yeah.
How long did it take for him to learn to do the agility course?
We've been doing it since he was a puppy. Betsy.
How old is he?
4. Just turned 4 years old.
He's a beautiful dog, man.
Yep, thank you.
And you produced him.
Yes.
Beautiful. And these are the black Malinois. Once again, you can get in contact with him. Where at?
At South Bay Malinois on
South Bay
Facebook.
on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes.
South Bay Malinois, live from Compton, CA. Thank you for being on Rottweiler Vlogs. I appreciate you.